We're going to go to the NBA because the NBA regular season is nearing its end. And one of the most popular topics right now is who's going to take home the MVP award. There's a couple of guys that could be. Before the season started, me and Jason actually went through the GM survey and we gave all of our opinions on who's going to win what award. So it's kind of cool to revisit it now. So my question to you is, who do you think now will win the MVP this season?
I wish we had the past of what we said.
I do remember who I said, and my
I don't
opinion, my
remember what I
pick
said.
still stands. I should have brought that
Was it
up.
Jokic? Did you say
No.
Jokic? Oh,
Uh-uh.
is it Shea? Ooh,
Yeah.
your internet.
Yeah. I had Shea in the beginning of the year. He was kind of like watch out for Shea. I think he can win it. Here he is, dude. I really think. Now, okay, I'm gonna say this. I honestly feel like it's gonna go to Jokic. Like my gut is saying it will go to Jokic. If I
Yeah.
was a voter, and one day I will be, I would put my vote in for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, averaging 30 points per game, leading the league in steals, shooting super efficiently, 4 and 40%. I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander rebounding the ball well, averaging like 32, 6, and 6 on 50-40 shooting. I mean, this guy is good at everything, leading the Thunder to the between the 1 and 2 seed. They're kind of back and forth there. I mean, what more do you want? This guy is unreal, and he's so good at everything. This is beyond this season. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander could finish his career with 2 rings and 2 MVPs. I was talking to somebody about that. I think that's such a real thing that could happen with him. That's how good he is, dude. But I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. That face, maybe you don't think so. But what do you think about him winning MVP this season?
That's bold. I mean, the MVP shout is not like the end of the world. Like, I think there's a very real possibility where that happens, especially with voters. And I guess the trend is really a lot of best player, best team
Mm-hmm.
usually wins, unless there's like an outstanding season, like a Russell Westbrook in 17, which,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but like,
Yeah.
ooh, he averaged a triple double. Ah, like,
I
yes, we
remember
get it.
in I remember in 2017, I was on the James Harden train for that
Mhm.
season to win MVP. I wanted
And
Harden to win
what?
it.
Harden probably you can make the argument that Harden probably deserved it. I mean, with
Mm-hmm.
you can also bring up the stat to say that, oh, every time he had a triple double, they win, and every time he doesn't have a triple double, they lose. Like,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, that just means your team is too like one person centric. Like, you just can't
Yeah,
build a team.
yeah,
Like,
you're right.
let's be completely honest. But
Uh-huh.
um bro, it's I think it's a toss up this year. I You can legit make the argument for like 4 different people, 5 different people.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think Jokic is probably gonna win it depending on how they finish the season standings, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a very real possibility that Shea can win it depending on where they place. Like, if they win at they take the 1st seed into the playoffs and he has a
Mm-hmm.
decent showing in the playoffs, I think there's a very real possibility he walks away with it.
Mm-hmm.
I say all that to say I think until you dethrone Jokic, I think it's gonna go right back to him. He will have a 3rd MVP, which is gonna be really that's like rarefied air.
Mm-hmm.
And although I will say I don't think Denver is this like invincible team that we are starting to talk of them as such. They're a very
Yeah.
good basketball team and they're a fun basketball team to watch. But I feel like they're not like they're not a 96 Bulls. They're not a we're speaking about them like they're a 96 Bulls, a 16-17 Warriors,
Mm-hmm.
01, 02 like Lakers. We're talking to them about in that sense, and I don't think they're that.
No.
I think they're very much like a 94, 95 Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a great like obviously both led by bigs, have a bunch of shooters around them. Like I think that's where they are, and they're not like rarefied air yet. But I think the NBA Finals goes through Denver first. Like I
Mm-hmm.
think it goes through Denver first, and I think Jokic is the reason why. To
Yeah.
speak that to that 2 MVPs and that 2 finals wins, yikes! The
I
reason
you.
why I say yikes,
Mm-hmm.
the reason why I say yikes, because guess what team is about to start retooling very soon?
The Dubs.
No, I was
Wait,
not
wait.
going there.
Retooling? Don't
Yep,
tell
they're
me.
good.
Retooling as in like
Not
redoing
gonna.
everything?
Hmm.
I don't know. Wait.
They suck right now.
Oh, the Spurs with Wemby. Yeah, that makes sense. I see what you're
I
saying.
mean,
Well, we'd have to
Wemby
see
is.
it first,
He's.
you know?
Oh, obviously we have to see it first, but we have to see the Oklahoma City Thunder win. Like, come on.
But we are, and like
We're
I
seeing
obviously
the.
not won a championship. I know
We're
regular
seeing the
season wins.
regular
I get it.
season.
I know, but but you know,
Like,
if the Spurs do build a great team, that could totally stand in the way. But as of
I.
right now, what I'm seeing is
I
OKC
think
at the
they do
second
though.
seed. Well, they probably will. They probably will. No,
Hmm.
I agree. You're probably right there. But I mean, they have. I mean, I don't know. Will they build a team as good as the Thunder have? I don't know. The Thunder
No,
have
that's
really built a good team.
no. They've built a very good team, and they have the draft capital to ensure
Hmm.
like prolonged success.
Yep.
But anything can happen in the sense that like Chet is. I mean, I also don't believe. I don't believe too much in these freakishly tall players
Yeah.
because of injury history, and I don't wish injury on any of these players, but Chet already broke his foot before coming into the league, and he's a tall, lanky player. Like, there's potential for injury, and the same thing can be said for Wemby, but we've already seen it with Chet,
Hmm.
and coupling that with the fact that Oklahoma City is still a very young team, and that's good and bad because it's good for basing onto the future, but it's bad in the
Yeah.
sense that they don't have the experience yet. Like, if you're, and I don't want to bring them up specifically because their fans are really annoying, but like, if you put the Celtics up against the Thunder this year, if that were the finals this year, I would think the Celtics win in five. Like, I
Hmm.
don't think that series is close based on purely based on experience.
Hmm. Well, yeah,
Like,
I don't think that's crazy. I mean, I think the Celtics are just miles better than every team right now, and I think it would be
oh,
kind of a
oh, oh, oh,
shocker
oh.
if they didn't win it.
Well, I think they won't win it. I don't think they do win as currently constructed. I think something's still really up with that team. Like, I don't
Who's
know,
gonna
something.
beat them?
Who's gonna beat them? Like,
Pause.
I can see. I guess whatever.
Go ahead. I thought you were gonna say it. Sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
no, no, no. You're good. You're good. I was thinking like I can just see either a random team in the East will knock them out just based on like like they just exist in the East, or they end up seeing Denver and Denver does as Denver does.
If I had to pick, I just I don't know, dude. Like I just think the Celtics are so much better than everybody else right now. And if they don't, I mean, we saw Tatum choke it that against the Dubs in 2022. I mean, like
Maybe that's
they
why. I don't trust them to put it together
Mhm.
fully in the finals. I think they have that like they still are young enough to where they have those mental lapses that will catch them in the finals. And then
Yeah.
like they don't have the mental fortitude to once they start getting buried or once they see a momentum shift, they don't have the ability to like punch back. Like in
Mhm.
2022 when you saw it in the end of game 3, like Steph had a show and he almost had them like we were close. There was a chance like the Warriors could have won game 3. Then the Celtics,
Mhm.
put that game to rest. Then Steph comes out with, that massive game 4 and that was essentially like it's like a power punch and then Celtics on the ropes. They're hanging. Game 5, another big punch, and then game 6, that avalanche in their house too. And I think that
Yeah.
like losing in your house, losing a finals in your house hurts. And especially for a young team that hasn't gotten to that summit and taking that L like that, that's a tough thing to eat. And hey, if they prove me wrong, they prove me wrong. I'm okay with looking stupid. But like until then, hopefully, I mean, something about the Celtics just doesn't speak to me.
Fair. I just don't know what team, at least in the Eastern Conference. I mean, Maybe the Bucks with Giannis and Dame, but I just don't have as much faith in them as all. Because honestly, in years prior, I've always had the faith in the Bucks and not as much faith in the Celtics. But I'm kind of
Yeah.
swapping now. I just think I have faith in the Celtics, considering how much better they are than everybody else.
Yeah.
But
The Bucks gotta get their heads out their ass, and excuse my language, but, like, they
no,
really
yeah,
are they just get in their own way, and, I mean, they
yeah.
had a great game last night or what, 2 nights ago with, I think it was last night, with Giannis not being there, and
Hmm.
Dame dropped 41 for in a win against the Clippers too.
Yeah.
Clippers, I think I didn't even think about this.
But what?
The Clippers are a shout to win the NBA finals this year.
No,
Like,
they
I think that's a
definitely could.
like a more serious shout. I didn't even think about that like that.
They definitely could. No, no, no. The Clippers are definitely up there. But I did want to bring up another guy for MVP who is in the conversation, who is, I think, right now second in voting or third. Luka Doncic. I think he's up there in voting, but sitting at the 8th seed, 34-27. He's like 8 games out of first place. Kind of a tough call. Luka's obviously having a great season. Um, the thing is like Luka's going to win an MVP at some point. Like, we all know that it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be. It's honestly, they're just like, we'll give it to him in a couple years. Like, let's give it to somebody
Well,
else right
I'll say
now.
this: he'll never win an MVP if his team keeps placing 8th.
Well, that's true. That's true too. They are
I
8th
do
right
think
now.
I do
Mhm.
think standings I do think standings and winning matters
Mhm.
in terms of MVP voting. Like, again, like, we go to unless you have some sort of, like, phenomenal season like Russ did, and I mean, you can also say, like, the NBA narrative was like, we have to give Russ something because Kevin Durant got the Warriors as, like, in the divorce,
There
he
was
went to
no
the
way.
Warriors, he
Yeah.
got the
Yeah.
new girl's amazing, and
Yeah.
Russ is out here just like, "Ah, crap, I ain't got none." So the NBA is like, "Alright, we're gonna make him a little happy, throw that to," like, because
Yeah.
what? I think they were 8th. I honestly think they
I
were 8th,
think they were 6th.
no, I think they were 7th. I think they were
I,
7th.
I feel like they were 6th, but let me look that up real
The
fast.
reason why
But
I think they were
keep going.
7th because we were number 1 that season and Houston was number 2 that season. Wait, hmm, actually,
I'm
I
looking
think
that
you're
up right
right,
now.
and they
They
may
were
be
the
6th.
6th seed. They were the
Yeah,
6th seed.
because they played Houston though, and they lost 4-1 in that playoff series.
They played. No, brought me to the wrong year. But yes, they were 6th seed in 2016/2017 season, and they played the Rockets in the first round.
And they lost 4-1, right?
4-1 was it? Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't have that here. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
I'm
think he
trying to
only
I didn't
got
go
1
that
game,
far in.
and I was
That
like,
sounds right though.
dude, yeah, because it's like, yeah, they gave him that, and that team was, but the team wasn't good. And yeah, he did again that triple double award, yay, whatever. But it's like, really, he got the
Mhm.
6th seed, and I think their record was like 41-41. Like, come on,
Yeah,
it was
no,
a
well, like
500 team that made the playoffs.
I was huge on James Harden getting it as the 3rd seed. I thought he deserved it more, but you knew Russ was going to get it. Triple double. KD left him. You're right. Had to give him something.
Yeah,
You knew that was going to happen. So
NBA narratives.